Hallmarkies, Seshers, goodies. Okay, this is a big day in the Bubbly Sesh because we are calling someone that Shawl and I wanted to talk to for a long time. Catherine Bell, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, girls.
Catherine, we're so thrilled, very, very excited. And, before we dive into everything, we just wanted to check in on you and see how you're doing with stay home, stay safe. How have you been spending your time holing up at home?
It's pretty much like everyone else. I mean, I am so grateful to be healthy and to be with my family. My family's, doing well. So grateful for that. It's definitely challenging. I mean, all the kids are home and we're doing homeschool and just trying to keep them busy and positive and, get a few things done throughout the day myself. It's definitely unusual times, isn't it? It's just crazy.
Yeah, I have a 3-year-old and I feel like it is just
Oh,
I'm
man.
constantly going trying to figure it out. And the school situation is so interesting. I mean, she's so young, but she has preschool. So, I mean, I can't
Right.
imagine with you, we're doing all sorts of things, at home.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I have a teenage daughter. She's 17 and she's great. She's self-sufficient. But then, we're navigating through emotions of she's missing her boyfriend who's in New York. She hasn't seen him in a couple months. And, she's usually up at a boarding school in Oregon. So she's missing her friends and trying to keep her busy. And, it's like, this is so unusual for them. It's like, okay, guys, this won't be forever. We can do this. And my little guy's 9. So trying to keep him busy and he just wants my attention every second of the day.
Yes, I know that well. I know it
Yep.
well.
Yeah,
So
Mom,
we're
look
just
at this. Mom, watch me. Mom.
The stark contrast of those age differences of the teen who's like, okay, I miss my friends, and then the 9-year-old who's
Uh-huh.
like, but mom.
Yeah.
So navigating a lot of different things. Teenagers, for those of you that listen to the Bubbly Sesh, I don't envy you right now because I'm sure that this is a tough time for all of you out there who are used to being with your friends. So bless you because these are unprecedented times. Catherine, Good Witch is now in its 6th season. We and our fellow goodies have loved watching you as Cassie Nightingale. She's intuitive, she's empathetic, she's magical, and we just want to know what's it been like to play her throughout these 6 seasons.
It's just been so incredible. I mean, I did the first Good Witch movie about 12 years ago now, which is just crazy to think. My daughter was just whatever that was, like 4 or 5 years old. And we did one movie. I went to Toronto. We shot this magical little movie. People, seemed to love it. And I went back to, I guess I was on Army Wives at the time. And then the next year they were like, that was really great. Why don't we do it again? So we did another Halloween movie and, same thing. It was really well received. And then the year after on my break from Army Wives did another one. And that was like 7 years we did that. And then when Army Wives ended, we decided to turn it into a series. And I've loved Cassie Nightingale from day one. She's evolved and she's changed and she's grown throughout the years. She had a child and now a new husband, and think life keeps changing as it does. And I just love her because she's so positive and so willing to see the best in everyone. And I think her ability to see that in people brings that out in people as well. And it's such a good lesson, I think, for all of us.
Yes, Shawl and I always say that Cassie's, of course, these magical powers, but just the power of her being able to listen and bring out the best in people. And I think the way you play and approach this character, it's one of the characters that you watch, and I can't imagine anyone else in the world playing this part because you approach it with such sensitivity. And if there have been any real standout moments for you on set throughout all the years where you just remember thinking, I love this moment, or anything really iconic that's happened to you on set?
Oh man, there's been so many. The movies were all. I remember the very first movie. Um, I don't know if we had more magic in it, or it's kind of Cassie's magic has also evolved over the years, and um, the first movie though, like I had a black cat that I was speaking, I think I was speaking Farsi to her at the time. I'm half Persian, so I spoke Farsi, whispered into her ear, and animals would listen to Cassie, and like all these cool magical moments, like the first time I come down the stairs, and like a little spooky, but who is this mysterious woman? But I do remember like the talking to animals in the first movie. I thought that was really cool. Like she just had this way of like looking into the Doberman's eyes, and the Doberman would stop barking, ready to attack and just run away.
Yes.
This mysterious, magical woman. What is going on with her? I love that.
Well, I have to gush a little bit, and I told Jax that I warned her ahead of time that I was going to gush on you a little bit because I just think that your acting performance is so subtle too when it comes to Cassie's magic, that it really, I don't know, it actually is magical for me to watch. Like I'm lulled into the episode. I'm lulled into the episode, and I just think it's so cool because I think a lot of actors might punch it up, because they feel like they have to sort of showcase like, oh, this is the magic moment. This is when magic is happening. And you don't do that. It's very, like, it's almost like, did Cassie do something magical? Like you almost have to think about it, which is so cool. So anyway, I love that in your performance. I don't know if you think about that. Do you think about that at all? Like when you do it, or is there any tricks to it?
I probably, it's such a fine line, and I'm always trying to ride that line of like, having that little knowing look, or kind of knowing what's going to happen, or what I'm about to make happen or something, but also maybe not, maybe she just is someone who, I know that she has an intuition, and she has something that's different from most people. So there's something special there, but yeah, I probably am always trying to figure out what is that little bit, the little look that kind of could be something, but not. I don't think about it too much, but I'm always just trying to find the right amount. And there's times actually when we're filming where, our directors might say like, okay, try a little bit more magical, and then maybe try a little bit less. And then in the editing room, they sort of put that together. So it's definitely a team effort in that way, where we're all working together to find that right balance. And even in the writing, it's like, there's times where it's been maybe more magical and times where it's been less. And I got to say, this season is my favorite. I think we brought the magic back. And, we've got now three magical Mary Wick women who are, all have some little something going on, which I love. I think it's really, really playful and fun.
Oh, it's so much fun. And we are certainly like enjoying all of the season so far and can't wait for more. Well, you mentioned you were half Persian. So sort of talk to us. What was your life like growing up? We read that you were born in London. You have a Scottish father, but a Persian mother. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I started in England. I didn't spend much time there, but my parents went to Iran when I was a baby, just because they were like young and new parents, and they went to get help from my mom's parents, my grandparents. And then shortly after that, we all moved to Los Angeles. So I've been in LA since I was 2, pretty much not quite born, but raised there. So I'm a native. I'm a Valley girl. My God, I'm so sure. Totally grew up in the Valley in the 80s.
That's awesome.
Sherman Oaks Galleria and everything.
Yes.
Did you do a hair flip too? Did you have a hair flip? Did you flip your hair?
Flip. I had big hair. I had permed hair. I had blue contacts. I had it all.
That's awesome.
Total Valley girl. But then I was raised by my Persian grandparents. So I had that growing up. We spoke Farsi in the house, ate Persian food, had a very close-knit family, very, probably very different than most people growing up in LA. Everyone's like, really? You were raised in LA? And I go, yeah, but within a Persian household and community. So it's a bit different. But great. Fantastic. I love that.
My best friend is half Persian, and Iranian New Year's is the funnest thing to celebrate. Are you a good are you into the dancing? Are you a good dancer?
I'll do it when my uncles and the rest of the family are around and doing it. I can't say I'm good. My honestly, some of my mom's brothers are like way better at it than me. I'm like, how do you move your hips like that? That's cool.
Oh my gosh, it's such a fun culture, and
Yeah,
that's so fun, and that's so fun. That nugget of speaking Farsi to the cat in
right.
the first movie. That's so cool.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those little moments that, you know, good trivia moment for people that know that I'm Persian.
Now, Catherine, your career has been incredible. You've been a series regular on Jag, Army Wives, and of course, Good Witch. And you've done so many projects, but we want to know what made you want to be an actor in the first place.
Oh boy. I gotta say it wasn't something that I would have ever thought I would be doing. I grew up in LA, so I kind of always was around the commercial and modeling, industry that was always going on. And I was tall and skinny, and people were like, "Oh, you should model." So I tried that a little bit and did a little bit of like commercials and that kind of thing. But I was really shy, so I didn't think I'd ever be an actor. It was just terrified me. So I actually went to UCLA to be either a doctor or an engineer, completely different. And
Wow.
I don't know. I started modeling. I went to Japan, so I actually took a break from UCLA and ended up staying there longer than I had planned. And when I came back, I was like, yeah, I'm just not really feeling the medical thing. So I took an acting class to overcome my shyness. That was my only purpose in taking this class. And I ended up loving it. I mean, it was scary and it really terrified me, but I also always liked to challenge myself that way, whether it was learning how to ride a motorcycle or jumping out of a plane, or I'm going to take an acting class and this is scary, but I knew that that's how you overcome fears, is to just feel the fear and do it anyway. So that was kind of how I started.
I have to say, I love the thought of all these, bless them, actual Valley girls who were desperately wanting to be actors being like, wait, no, the engineer that can speak Farsi and could do anything in the world, and she's going to take my acting job? Like, it's just so funny to think about. So, but I think that you bring so much substance to all the roles that you play, and I think that's probably
Thank you.
another reason why you found that path, because acting, I think that the people who make the best actors are the people that are curious and interested in so many things. So that makes a lot of sense.
True. Yeah, interesting. I know I've seen so many actors who, I mean, way more than me, whether they are just avid readers or they know Shakespeare or they play musical instruments. I mean, I dabble in little bits of all of those things, but um, you got people who are like, who's it? Daniel Day-Lewis, like, no, is a shoemaker, right? Didn't he learn how to make shoes, which is like this crazy lost
Yeah.
art, I think it's just so interesting to just live life and try all these different things, and hopefully it ends up somehow in your work.
Daniel Day-Lewis, man. He's always like, he's going the distance with that stuff, isn't he? He's
Right.
like in
Yeah.
a cabin, like isolating himself for 2 years
Right.
for a part. We're all just like, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
love that with Cassie Nightingale, you don't have to do any of that to get into the magic. You're
Right.
able to just do it. So,
Right.
I love that. Well, we talked about this a little bit before about being moms, but I'm curious about your motherhood experience. And did you always want to be a mom? And how do you sort of balance it all when you're shooting and otherwise?
Well, I waited. I was 34 when I had my daughter. So I kind of always knew I would want to be a mom, but I was an only child, and I'm not one of those people who did a lot of babysitting or was around a lot of kids. So I think it always scared me, but I knew that someday I would have children. But when it was finally time, I mean, I got the bug all of a sudden. It hit me age 34. I was like, oh my God, that's it. I have to have a baby. I'm having a baby right now. It was my last year of JAG, so that worked out great. We kind of hid the belly during those the last season, and then actually I had her like the I had her the second to last season, I guess that summer, and then went back to work and had her on set with me. But I both my children, this is funny. I went back to work when they were both about 3 months old. One was on JAG and one was on Army Wives, and so I've always had to go right back to work, just a short break, and or one was even less than that, maybe like 8 or 9 weeks. So I've always been a working mom, and I just, I've learned to really like not let myself feel guilty for the times I'm not there and that I'm working or late or have to leave the house early, or now we shoot Goodwitch in Toronto, so I'm away almost 4.5 months a year, but I come home every weekend. So like I'll go 3-4 days and film in Toronto and then fly back to LA and spend 2 or 3 or 4 days with the kids, kind of back and forth like that. And then I just make the most of it. Yeah, I've just learned like there's no time to feel guilty about that. It is what it is. I remind myself that I'm setting a great example as someone, a working mom, and that's okay. And when I'm with them, I just try really hard to put my phone down and give them 100% of my time when, it really is quality. And, then there's other moms that have a lot of time with their kids, but maybe they're distracted because they're busy and doing, a lot of stuff at home, and that's okay too. It's, it's whatever works for each person and each family,
Well, I love that you said that. I love that you said that about not feeling guilty, because I think that's a lot of working moms do feel guilty, like incredibly guilty. And it's so wonderful that you're saying that out loud. Like, no, it's okay. And it's a great example. It's actually the positive of it is like, oh no, like, look, why mommy isn't here is because she's working hard and she's financially independent. And, there's a lot of great things to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, and they know that, and they see that. And we are always looking at what we're grateful about in our lives and all the things that the shows, provide in our lives and what we get to do, whether we're traveling or, whatever, even just having a roof over our heads. I'm like, I'm working, and when I'm away, that's what I'm doing. And I'm also doing what I love, which is, really, really special, because I know that not everyone gets to do that. So I'm like, look, guys, I found something I love. I went for it. I committed myself to it, and it takes me away sometimes, but here's what's good about that. And we try to put our attention on those things,
Well, and I think that's a really great point. And what better way to inspire your kids? And I think also even this conversation that we're even having this, I think is such a different conversation that women have that men wouldn't necessarily have. And mom guilt and guilt for women, because then there's other women who, if they maybe have not worked outside the home, have said things to their kids like, I gave up my life for you. And then there's all this kind of guilt there, and they're not happy. So I think that some people, it really is whatever works for you and whatever works for your family, and not feeling guilt about that, whatever that is. And women are incredible, and we feel guilt too much.
It's true. And you know what? You have to just stop it. People are like, well, I can't stop it. I'm like, yes, you can. It's a choice. You just the thought comes up, and we all have it, and you go, no, I'm not going there, and you just stomp your foot and you just go do something else. So you put your mind onto something else, and you can do it. It takes discipline, right? You just kind of train yourself to do that. But it's true. Like I have one of my best friends has kids, and is a stay-at-home mom, and is busy and driving, and doesn't get maybe the quality time that I get. Like I'll take a day or 2 or 3 off and just be with the kids, and I'm like, okay, but you get to drive your kids around to dance and to soccer and to sit there on the soccer field and watch them play, and I miss some of those things, So it is what it is, and our kids are all turning out great, and that's what we have to just again be grateful for and realize.
Yeah, and women are just fierce. I mean, I like men too, guys. You're fine. Catherine, we wanted to also ask you. You have a jewelry line, and there are some beautiful pieces, but you also use it as a means to give back. So we just want to ask you a little bit more about what inspired your jewelry collection and where people can find it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's kind of been just a dream of mine for a few years, really, and started thinking about it. And but I would wear stuff on the show, and people would ask what I was wearing, and just kind of was like, okay, what? I started looking into it and sketching some stuff, and then I have a friend who has a jewelry company, and she said, you can just start sketching it and get somebody to do the computer rendering of it it's like a CAD design, and then from there you have it made. And I kind of just started experimenting and dabbling, and tried the first piece, and it wasn't quite right, and just played with it, and next thing you know, just kind of came up with just a look and a feel. And I love the hearts. We've started with hearts. So I have a business partner in that, Brooke Daniels, and we do it together. We design them together. She designs some, I design some. We do it sometimes together. And the hearts were kind of the first step. And now we're branching out into some other things, getting actually into a little bit of witchy magical stuff, like some good luck charms and some other things that are coming soon, that I'm really excited to share with people. But yeah, it's Catherine Bell Jewelry. So we have our website and Instagram, Catherine Bell Jewelry.
Yeah, you
Oh,
guys have to
I
check it
know.
out because these are some really, really beautiful pieces. And
Thank
I think,
you.
especially now that we're all shopping from home, click through the Instagram. I'm
Right.
just saying, you guys, now's the time.
Exactly. Yep, it's all pre-order for now, but manufacturers should be hopefully open soon to actually get them made.
oh, fantastic. Well, we
Yeah.
will definitely be checking it out, and I know everybody listening will be too. Before we end out the show, we're gonna play a little game with you, but before that, we have something called our Soul Sesh moment. And this is where we ask our guests to give a piece of advice or something that they live by so that our listeners can take that away with them today. I mean, you already gave us that little wisdom nugget earlier when we were talking about motherhood and not feeling guilty, but do you have something that you live by, or something that you sort of walk with every day?
Wow, that's deep. Um,
The bubbly sesh, we're getting deep to then like have a little bit of fun after this. So,
yeah, of course. Um, Gosh, I mean, I guess I don't know, the not feeling guilty, and like one of the things, I have a lot of great talks with my daughter lately. Again, she's 17, so she's going through, that phase of just young womanhood and figuring out life. And I think that guilt thing it comes up a lot, whether it's just like, oh, I did that and I should have done this, or oh, I said something and someone's upset. It's like sometimes you have to just, you just can't get stuck on some idea so much. Like, okay, I did that. It is what it is. You can't change that. So what's next? Like, look to the future. What can I do now? Or what, like if you have to fix something, then you can fix it, or ask for an apology if you've messed up or did something wrong. But, like, let's just stop feeling guilty and worrying about what we did, and what can we do right now? What can we do next in our life, and put our attention on that?
how fabulous that you are instilling that in your daughter too, especially. I mean, again, to take it back to women and how, I mean, we do second guess ourselves a lot.
Right.
Or we do sort of, again, societally, we could go on and on. That could be a whole podcast episode discussing
Yes.
why that is, but I think that's definitely true.
Yeah.
And so to encourage your daughter to have that confidence or to push through and to
Yeah.
not dwell is so powerful, and is something that I hope she listens and takes with her, and is growing
Yeah.
on that.
I know, me too. I think it's a work in progress, and it took me a long time to get to that point. So I can't say I was just born that way. It takes practice, and it takes just a little bit of life experience. But yeah, I hope she continues to work on that as well, because it's definitely an easier way to live. When you're not so worried about everything that you did or what you're doing, or if it's right or wrong. Just do it. Just live.
Yes.
I love that.
We love games on the Bubbly Sesh, Catherine. So we're going to close out this interview with you with our
Bubbly Sesh Pop Quiz.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Catherine.
All right, I'm ready.
I think you're going to be fabulous at this because it's all about you. It's lightning round. So you just answer on instinct.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Your most romantic moment.
Oh, on a white sandy beach in a remote little island in Mexico, just walking at sunset.
Oh my.
Fourth floor.
That sounds lovely. Favorite way to relax?
Massage. I love just a good, super relaxing, deep tissue massage.
Definitely want one of those right now.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite book?
My favorite book. That's a good question. Yeah, I need to read more, don't I?
I feel like it's sometimes when people ask me, it's funny because sometimes I'm an avid reader, but then when someone asks me my favorite book, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't say I know either. I just started reading 1984, but I don't know that's my favorite. I just am like, people were talking about that book, and I thought, I've missed some of the classics in high school. I'm gonna go back and read that.
That's fun. What about what makes you laugh?
Oh, my kids. Just like being goofy and silly with them, watching silly videos or whatever makes us just giggle uncontrollably.
This one's just a selfish question because I want to know, what is your workout of choice?
Uh, Workout of choice is it's called Legree. It's also called Pilates Plus, depending on where you take it, and it's really amazing and really effective. Love it.
Noted.
And but low
Thank you.
impact. Mm-hmm.
Okay, can I ask an addendum to
Yeah.
this? Is it because I'm doing Pilates right now? Is what makes it? Is it like? Is it a step up? Is it more intense?
So there's a guy named Sebastian Legree, and it's similar to a reformer, but he kind of designed his own thing, and he's an engineer, so he had that background, and it's spring loaded, the machines, and the moves are really, really, really slow. So whatever move you're doing, it's like 4 slow counts out and 4 back in. So it's deep and it burns like crazy, and your form and posture is perfect. But it works on the slow twitch fiber muscles. They're called the slow twitch muscle fibers, where you get that burn from going really, really, really slow. And it's what causes the muscles to grow the most. So I find it really effective.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to look into this, Catherine.
Yes.
Thank you. And finally, what do you love about being part of the Good Witch and the Hallmark Channel family?
Oh my goodness. I love everything about it. I actually am just so blessed, so fortunate to be a part of the show. I love the character, the message. The people I work with are literally just fantastic. Exactly what you think a Hallmark family would be. I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying that. We actually really all like each other, cast, crew. It's a good thing. I love it.
Well, Catherine, we are so grateful that you took the time to let us give you a call today. Where can people follow you on Instagram, Twitter? Where can they stay updated?
Sure. Instagram is the real Catherine Bell, because there was somebody else called Catherine Bell, so it's the real Catherine Bell. And I'm really CB on Twitter.
Well, you guys, Seshers, goodies, you can stay updated with our adventures at the Bubbly Sesh. We will be live tweeting this whole season of Good Witch, reviewing, recapping every episode, and of course, rate, review, and subscribe. Hallmark Channel's Bubbly Sesh. We love hearing from you guys. And Shawl, I know we have been so excited to have Catherine on, and you certainly were delightful. So thank you, Catherine. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was really
magical.
nice. Oh, good.
This was magical, Catherine, dare I say. Just magical.
Perfect.
So, no, we so appreciate you. And thank you so much. And stay safe, and hope you and the kids, everybody stays healthy.
Yes,
and,
you too. Definitely.
Day by day.
Absolutely.
Here we go.
We got this.
We got this.
All right. Good.
Cheers.
Take care.
Thanks, Catherine.
Bye.
Cheers.